Hi everyone, it's Joe from KE Consulting here. So this video is a part of our warehousing series, and today I'm going to show you how to do a straightforward setup of bins and also show you how to apply default bins for your items. Now this is going to be extremely handy for allowing BC to suggest bins to pick from and place your items in when buying and selling goods. Also, by setting up default bins, it stops BC from automatically making default bins for your items the first time you use them, as this can often be wrong. So let's begin by opening up one of my locations. We'll go up here and I search for locations. I'm going to go into Joe Basic Warehouse for this example. So first off, I've got bin mandatory ticked. And this means that we're going to be using bins in this location to store our items. So let's begin by showing the bins that we're going to be using. So at the top, we have bins. And in here is where we can create all the bins that we require, and these are going to be used to store our items. So these could be physical shelves or storage containers within your warehouse and may hold one type of item or multiple. I've got two bins that we're going to focus on for this video. And this is going to be one JBW and two JBW. So if we open up one JBW by clicking the line and clicking contents, in here is where we can assign the items that should be kept in this bin. So I've added item 1908 to this bin. I've also clicked default, and this means that this is the main bin that this item should be stored in. I also have fixed ticked, and again, this means this bin usually contains this item. So if we go out of here and then go into 2JBW, press contents, you'll find I also have item 1908 again, but this time I only have fixed ticked. I've done this so that we can see that this bin is associated with this item and we're happy for the item to be stored here, but it's not the default choice. So it's likely to be used if our default bin is full. I've also got item 1900 in this bin. And again, I've got it set to default and fixed. It's good practice to add all your items and set their default bins. The issue if you don't do this is BC can automatically assign the first bin you use for each item as the default bin. And this can cause complications, especially in advanced warehousing when you have shipment and receive bins, as it could set the default bin to these and that just isn't true. So if we go back a page, in here we can also assign a zone code if we wished. And this is used to group bins. So for example, we could have a north zone and a south zone within our warehouse. So now let me show you some settings of how our bins will be used. So if we scroll down and we look at default bin selection, you can see I've got it set to fixed. And this means that the default bin won't get changed by BC. If we had it set to last used bin, the default bin would always change to the last used bin for that item. If we scroll down a bit more, we can see we have our put away bin policy set to default bin. And this means that BC will suggest putting any incoming items into their default bins. Our other option to use is a put away template, and using this we can customize a hierarchy of rules for how the system should suggest which bins we use when putting items away. I've also got the pick bin policy set to default bin, as this also means BC will suggest picking items from their default bins. The other option is using a bin ranking system where we can assign a priority of which bins to pick from first. So now this is all we need for a straightforward bin setup, and now we're ready to use bins within our location in Business Central.